What is up, everybody? Project Itachi here. Welcome back to another week of the GZ Chop Shop. All right. So, as always, we have an amazing episode lined up for you guys. This is actually one of two episodes to wrap up the year 2021. This is episode 86. We've got one more episode after this, and then we won't be back until 2022. I know you guys are sad. What are you going to do without us for like that little bit of time before we roll in the new year? But before we get into today's episode, I do want to bring up something that Gamma Games is doing. We are doing a charity campaign for the Wounded Warrior Project. We are very proud to be working together with them. This is a foundation that has been supporting veterans and active duty military since 9/11. The mission of the WWP is to honor and empower wounded warriors. And they basically make sure service members and their families receive the help to achieve their highest ambitions to recover from PTSD, from physical injuries. They provide life-changing services in mental and physical health, career counseling, and long-term rehabilitative care, all at no cost to wounded warriors and their families. So this is an amazing foundation. And then Warners and I are veterans. So this is something that we definitely resonated with, and we decided, to support with. So we are very proud to be working with them during their stream to serve and ending the year strong with them. So on December 23rd, around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be having our big charity live stream push to achieve our goal. We are trying to raise over $1,000 because that will guarantee care for 7 wounded warriors. So hopefully you guys can join us. We'll be live. We'll be playing some games. We'll be interactive with the community. It'll be a very good time for you guys to talk to us, ask us questions, see what we've been up to, and then pretty much just have fun as we knock out milestones and you guys get to play some milestone games with us. There's a lot of incentives. There's going to be a raffle. There's prizes to be won. So it's going to be a really, really good time. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to check the show notes for the link. And hopefully we will see you guys there. So without further ado, we have a pretty much time-wise, it's going to be a different episode. We've got 2 hot topics for you. So Warners, take it away. What do we got? If you're not familiar yet with the issues we're having as of early this morning, AWS, which is basically Amazon's cloud services, almost completely went out. I am honestly learning a lot about this today. I didn't realize how many things that we use every day, from apps to gaming to streaming services, that are under that, I guess, jurisdiction of the Amazon cloud services. A lot of interesting situations came out of it. And then we're going to be talking a little bit about a little mishap with PlayStation, breaking away from Microsoft, Activision Blizzard. For once, it wasn't Microsoft. And going into PlayStation. Apparently, they're having some issues too with a similar situation. So Itachi, you are definitely, compared to me, the more knowledgeable one here. Can you kind of explain what AWS is? So AWS is basically the Amazon web-based services. It's their cloud services, which a lot of our streaming services, such as like Disney and gaming servers, run on. It's basically how they pretty much connect everybody to everything that, we're watching and using, especially games. There's a ton. Like, when you read the article, they say that they can't even give a total number on how many games got shut down by AWS going offline. but it's basically the cloud service that it's Amazon's own cloud service that connects everybody to their streaming, their Netflixes and Disney Pluses. I don't think Netflix uses it. I think Netflix has their own thing, but Disney Plus definitely uses Amazon. So
Netflix was affected.
Yeah.
Netflix, Disney Plus, PUBG, so Netflix League Legends, okay. Valorant,
Destiny. That's why I asked earlier Destiny about 2. The Destiny server.
Yeah. And then
pretty much all the top
Tinder. Everyone's freaking out about games. Tinder. Apparently that was a hot topic.
Tinder?
Oh my God.
They can't swipe. Dates.
I mean, love.
Oh no.
They were missing their love connections. Yeah, don't leave that person on read forever. Oof.
But I mean, I gotta add something to it. So, one of my friends works in an Amazon warehouse, and we were talking about it tonight because he brought it up to me. And he was like, "Hey, yeah, tell me about it." And he said that the warehouse that he works out is still down. Like, they still are having issues with their server.
They did say that packages were slowed down. Like, this is pretty bad because, a lot of the things that are automated can't run because they can't connect to the bigger systems to get the information they need to get the packages probably marked correctly, to get them to the right handlers, to get them to the right trucks, to get them to the people or send out the drones, or, they can't operate.
It's just crazy that it's bigger than just the streaming platforms. Like the actual warehouses are being affected.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little confused here. There's a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, most of the companies and servers and developers, all these different things, apps, have nothing. They're not Amazon. They're not owned by Amazon. They have nothing to do with Amazon. So what? Why are they utilizing
Amazon cloud services?
Yeah. Like, what is the connection there?
So think of it like Amazon is a conglomerate, basically. And the best example I could give is when I worked at the post office. Amazon would go to the mailing services. The reason they can deliver how they deliver is because they came with a proposal. They said, we'll pay you X amount of dollars to deliver every single day, 365 days a year. The companies then decide if they like what Amazon pitches or they turn it down. Most say, no, we're not doing 7 days a week, every single day of the year. The post office, however, said, hey, yeah, we'll do it for that cheap. So they then enter a partnership. Post office provides the cheap labor, while Amazon has now the resources it needs to deliver those 7 days a week, all year round packages. Amazon is pretty much doing the same thing. All of these people need servers and pretty much the means to connect you to your movies, you to your games. However, the cost to run their own servers is extremely high. This is one thing a lot of developers have always tried to tell gamers when gamers are like, why don't you just get private servers? Why don't you just do this? And they say there's a lot of money invested in those things that you guys don't know. The cost of that would be high. We would have to charge you, like, yes, we fuss about season passes, battle passes. They would have to charge us probably 3 times as much if they met the demands of private servers. So that Amazon
makes sense as to why World of Warcraft charges a fee to play on various servers, because those are owned by Activision Blizzard.
They're owned by them. It's their server.
Okay.
So to make the games more cost efficient and affordable to us, they've cut deals with Amazon saying, hey, they're basically paying rent. You guys have a cloud system. It's already established. You're building on it. You're expanding on it. It works. People trust you. We trust you. Save us the work. How much to use your cloud service?
And I guess the post office really had no choice there, considering the state that they're in. I mean,
exactly. The post office scooped up the contracts because nobody was using the mail system.
Yeah.
Amazon pretty much supplied them with work.
We already all knew like how huge Amazon was. And so I'm learning a lot of this today. Like how
huge they really are.
I was
they
today
really
years
reach
old.
and dig into so much more than I realized. I had no idea they had servers that they basically contracted off to various companies, and especially in gaming. I had no idea.
If you think about it, the knowledge that it was established was always there. We have just become accustomed to what they provide that we didn't notice the expanding reach. Because if you think about it, clear signs that their servers and their cloud service was 10 times bigger than we thought was the minute they introduced Luna. And it was like no sweat off of them. Look how fast they got their cloud gaming up and running. Even Google struggled with Stadia. They were having issues. Cloud Luna, it's out there. Yes, it's not like super popular, but it's out there. It's running. It's efficient. It was already up because they already have the means. They already had the cloud system. And when you think about their delivery service, the only way that could operate is if they had the internet means. The only company you could probably think of, which most of us probably thought was actually running all of these servers, was Google.
Right.
So we're thinking, oh, it's Google providing it. No, Amazon has built their own network and everyone else is taking part in the network. So if you want to think about it, half the internet is probably owned by Amazon.
I was reading that I think I read it was it 39 or 40% of all these companies and stuff
use Amazon. Yeah. They are almost 50%.
That's crazy.
It's like I think it's like 32%. I think AWS has like 32% of everything that runs.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I read it somewhere, but
yeah.
God.
That's a huge market right there. But you know what? I have to give Amazon props. Well, no, because I was going to say they don't.
AWS boasts, at least as of 2019, that over 90% of the world's biggest gaming companies use its servers.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a way, as much as we don't like how much of a juggernaut Amazon is, as gamers, we kind of have to tip our hat to them because they are making the games affordable for us. Multiplayer games are on a rise. Do you realize how much you would have to spend? I mean, look at any game you have to pay to play online. If every single game that was online did that, would you still be playing your games?
Right.
So, this is kind of like Amazon kind of came to the rescue, because think about it. And it's kind of a necessary evil when you really think about it, because
fix your servers, but it's really not their servers to fix.
It's not their servers to fix. So we're fussing technically at the wrong people.
That's what I was sitting here like.
Yeah, we're fussing at the wrong people. That's why they're like, we're looking into it. That's usually what that means.
They're contacting Amazon. They're
contacting Amazon.
Help, please. The gamers are coming for me.
And this is probably why certain games don't take seasons off to fix things, because they have to pay rent to Amazon to keep using that service. If they take a season off, that revenue they're making will disappear, and Amazon's going to be like, all right, well, you can't pay your rent. You got 1,000 other people waiting for that spot. Gotta go. So that's why we still get these broken games that are getting worked on, quote unquote, in real time, especially if they have a multiplayer feature.
It's too late to stop Amazon. They 90% of the. It's too late. We can complain and bitch all we want, but Amazon, it doesn't matter what we say anymore.
I mean, when you think about it, so here's something I want you to think about.
They own your internet.
Here's something I want you to think about.
Jesus.
Everyone who has ever fussed about Jeff Bezos usually mostly fuss about him because someone else fusses about him. It's like a herd mentality, right? Without knowing the real reason some of the people started the fussing. I already knew. I said, this man has more money than he knows what to do with. If you're going to space before a person who's literally trying to build us space travel. And it was just a Tuesday for him. as much as Amazon is a juggernaut, they are not the only, they might be the main delivery service, but they're not the only delivery service. You are not going to have space traveling money, not only just for you, but several trips just for delivering packages overnight. I'm sorry. There's a lot of juggernaut. Oprah Winfrey hasn't been to space. She's one of the most wealthy women alive. Dude, that money comes from the cloud services. I'm telling you.
It has to.
I just like, my mind has been blown today. Like I feel like I smoked weed and you guys told me some wild stuff, which it kind of, and it just like changed my entire like the perception of reality.
Google doesn't own the internet. They're just visiting.
They're just a renter.
They're just renting.
Oh, damn, Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon's the actual juggernaut.
That is wild.
If you want to believe in the Illuminati, Amazon is the Illuminati. They own the Illuminati.
Jesus, yeah. They're the. Oh my God.
Yeah, when AWS goes down, it's a real thing. And if you notice,
government, like there is zero government ownership of the internet. The internet, I know this much. The internet is maintained by various companies and entrepreneurs, and it's not as many companies as you might think. It's a small, so like not selection, but group of just powerful companies for the
Amazon.
most part. Amazon apparently being the biggest one.
These things that like you don't think about on a daily, and then you learn about it and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
It puts a lot of stuff into perspective.
I feel like I could be at work now and someone would just like complain about something or gripe at me, and I'd be like, dude, Amazon can ruin your life right now. They could DDoS your life right now.
Go talk to Amazon, okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to refer people to Amazon from now on.
Because I get a support ticket.
I wonder if we.
This is a stretch, but what if Jeff Bezos went on and saw on his Twitter that gamers were making fun of him and his penis rocket ship, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna show you today. And he goes to his little table with his one kill switch for the internet and just press the button.
Oops.
just killed half the internet and just sits back with his cup of coffee like, who's got a penis rocket ship now?
Could you imagine?
I'm telling you.
What that would be like.
The man has a bat phone for killing the internet, and he proved it.
Yeah.
Because at first everyone was thinking like, oh, they got hacked. Do you realize for AWS to be as big as it is, the layers of security, even your most dedicated hackers are not going to stress themselves out trying to shut down AWS. They shut down AWS. They kill their own connections.
Can you imagine
they wouldn't be able to do it.
Can you imagine like thinking you're about to shut someone down and you just shut yourself down?
You just shut yourself down.
God damn.
The very
Amazon
thing you were
sends
trying
you like
to
a Matrix
destroy.
like message, get good.
Yeah, it's just blinking like that, like on Jurassic Park. It's like you got to say the magic words. It's Amazon taunting the hackers. Get good.
Get good. But yeah, it's a real big thing. Heck, what we're recording on, they use Amazon.
I didn't know that either till we signed in, and I'm like, holy crap.
Yep. And then I got disconnected.
Yep.
I had to go back in.
Now the real issue is how long it's been going. The last time AWS went down, they had it fixed within a matter of hours. This has been an all day thing. Like certain big platforms, pretty much if you pay attention, the ones who got the big money like Disney, they're kind of back up and running. But like the game servers and stuff, a lot of them are still.
Well, of course, because they're going to work on the ones that bring them the money first. Like that's just how it's going to go.
I mean, I haven't read anything. I was trying to find it, but I haven't seen any like concrete information saying specifically what happened to cause this.
You won't. Whatever you get now is just going to be whatever Amazon once put out there. I'm telling you that right now. Whatever
like,
news
I
you
wonder
get
what it
tomorrow,
could have been. Like it could have been a power outage at the company.
That's
like,
what you're gonna hear.
That could have legitimately been it. But it could have been potential hackers that really did some damage. But
Maybe
I'm trying to
they're
think,
preparing for the internet apocalypse that we always joke about.
I'm trying to think like what it could possibly be outside maybe those two things.
I don't know. Elon Musk finally crashed one of his satellites into an Amazon one, making space.
Because the internet itself, as long as the hardware is going, the internet itself doesn't have like it doesn't just crash. Like something causes it to crash from the source.
Well, I didn't hear anything about solar flares, so we can't blame any
Solar
space
flares.
anomalies.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
If they come up and say, "Oh, there was a solar flare and it knocked out a satellite," most of us will just be like, "Oh, okay." And as soon as we get Netflix back, we're not going to remember. We're not going to care. We're going to totally forget that Amazon is the overlord of the internet once again.
Well,
so whatever you hear tomorrow, that's not really what happened. I'm telling you right now.
I'll save the topic itself for another episode, but I will say this. Amazon is still number 2. All right. ICANN still owns everything. But we'll say that's a special podcast we'll do later because ICANN, I don't think people really know
they don't really know
what ICANN is and what it entails and what they can really do. But
that's how you know they're in a position of power.
But that we'll save that because that's a very cool topic, but it's kind of scary and fun to talk about. But yeah, but still, yeah, Amazon has a lot of control, man. That's wild.
Yeah. So on a not so humorous topic, can I just say I feel I was kind of worried, and we touched on this a little bit, switching over to the topic of Sony. We touched on this becoming a thing as time went on, gaming and the curtain getting pulled back and a lot more stuff getting revealed and dug up. And Kara stumbled across something that actually made me very sad. But since you found it, do you want to let everyone know what it is?
Sure. So I was stumbling along and I found a article that caught my attention, and it was, I don't remember what position was he?
He's someone.
Just a PlayStation executive.
That's all they put him as a PlayStation executive.
Senior vice president at Sony. He's been terminated. And the reason that he's been terminated is because, and the way I'm going to put it is allegations of pedophilia.
Yeah, I watched the video in that.
The video's there's not too much. It's like a 2-minute video with like 1 minute of actual footage.
Where they're kind of like coming at him after they.
Right.
It's still pretty intense.
So basically,
it's intense to hear though.
Right. So basically, what happened is this group, they're all over. They do, they try to catch predators, and so they started talking to him as posing as a 15-year-old boy. The senior vice president said his name was Jeff. Jeff invited this boy over to the house, and they recorded them walking up to him. You can clearly see who the person is in the video. He's wearing a PlayStation 5 shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad. And obviously there was enough evidence after this went down.
Right.
To get him to let him go.
To terminate him. Like, they don't have anything in the video. They don't have anything in the report that I read of actual evidence, but clearly whatever they found and they turned into the proper authorities was enough to terminate this man. After, I think he worked there since like 2013 or something like that. Like, he's been there for a while.
He's been there for a while. Now, there was something that was bugging me about this, and this is me, wild card, thinking outside of the box here. It went down, in my opinion. There was just some things that didn't make sense. I feel that, was there an executive doing some shady business, as dark and dirty as that? yeah, sad to say, I don't think there's any getting around that and denying that fact. The thing is, I feel I can't help but feel some parts of this were staged, because I can't see this guy being at home from work and just opening the door in his PlayStation shirt, clearly announcing, "Hey," because when you
I
really
work at
read
PlayStation, but
yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, you have to. And I'm obviously, I don't know what the phrase, the way I see it is, if it is an actual video that, nothing was staged, he was expecting a 15-year-old boy. What do 15-year-old boys like? Video games. It's going to be, hey, I work at PlayStation. I can get you free shit. Like, come on over. Let's go have fun. Like, that's how I see it. And that could just be, I'm a mother. So, like, that's a motherly instinct to automatically go against, like, try to to see the wrong. But that's how I see it.
That's a very valid thought. That's a very valid thought.
Sony had just said, along with Microsoft, I don't know if y'all read anything about this, but both of them are considering what they might do going forward as far as their relationship with Activision Blizzard. So for Sony to have a little hiccup like this, like, it's no wonder they reacted so quickly. It was immediate.
I feel it was only a few days.
There was no investigation. There was just termination.
It was terminated. And the thing is, it's like, with this termination, 100%, absolutely. The only thing that really bothers me is how people are blaming Sony, and they're saying, well, you couldn't vet this person. I'm like, I don't think people understand what the vetting process truly is.
Well, I mean, everyone has a background check, and I would assume that even on a standard background check, I would think that with Sony, they probably have a slightly more in-depth one. But even with a standard background check, like, unless someone has actually done something wrong,
you're not going to pop up.
Right. I mean, you could be accused of something, but if you're not charged with anything, and, so you can't really blame the company. I have I work with a lot of great people, but, I don't know them personally. I have no idea what they might be like outside work. That's not the hospital's fault.
I just dug a little deeper, and I went onto the actual video on YouTube, and I went to the description news. And there's a drive file of the Grindr messages.
Oh.
So they were able to get their hands on all of this stuff. This is what I said. I said, as with Activision Blizzard, they opened a wound, and I said it was going to create ripples. Once again, I was hoping that we were wrong. We were not. And it's creating ripples. And I'm telling you right now, Microsoft is scrambling. Microsoft is scrambling because Sony has been established for just as long as them, if not longer. So
they've been
Sony to have this.
They've been making cameras since, I think, the 50s.
Yeah. Sony
about.
And now they're on that radar. They're literally on the bench with Activision Blizzard. And this sucks because now, when I was talking to you earlier before we did the show, and I said I feel like this is going to affect gaming, what I meant when I said I feel this is going to affect gaming is because the consumers, parents, I guess you could say activists and sexual assault representatives, they're going to be looking at developers, and they're going to say, so you're going to work with Sony knowing they don't vet this? So, and basically they're going to put these people in an unwinning situation. It's going to be like, and that's the only thing I hate about like social media and how people approach this. They don't come at it with like, the business standpoint. This person committed it. not a company. You're always going to have weeds in your crops. You just got to pull out those weeds. You're never going to get rid of them. They're always going to come back. You can just try your best to mitigate it. But to take out the whole crop, then you've got no food. And I think people don't understand that. And so they're just summarizing now Sony. Like, that's all they're going to resonate with. So they're going to go to these developers and be like, so you're fine with pedophilia then, because you're going to work with Sony. Now it's going to put them in a predicament, because then these people are going to be like, okay, well, then if you're fine with it, I'm going to tell the world that you're fine with it. And in the world of social media, that is not something you want.
Taking things out of context,
and it's going to be completely
end up attacking
taken out of
something
context.
That wasn't the problem to begin with.
Yeah. So you're going to see contracts terminated. You're going to see people, they're going to say that they've made the right choice. We're not going to work with this. We're going to do this. But in the end, people are going to be getting laid off. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. But they're doing it just to appease the masses, because they could make this amazing AAA game, keeping their contract, working with Sony, putting food and, money in their workers' pockets so they can go and feed their family. But just because they didn't make us, who have nothing to do with it, we're just upset from the outside looking in, they're going to put them in this box and be like, either you make us happy or we ruin you. And the thing is, it's like, that's too much power. We have way too much power. We're over here ruining people's lives. Okay, they give us what we want, and then what? We just walk away and go on about our lives. Now they're over here trying to reestablish contracts. If I was in this predicament, if I saw people jump ship because I have a bad apple, I get rid of this bad apple, I go through and I revamp. But people are terminating contracts because they're blaming the company as a whole. Or I see that happen to another company, you jump ship because they have a bad apple. I'm not going to want to sign with you, because I'm like, the minute something goes wrong, you're going to jump ship on me. So I'm better off just not even getting involved with you, because now you have eyes on you, because everyone's watching you to see your next move. You bring that spotlight to me. Now I've got eyes on me. And the minute people are bored, they're going to go looking. And then if I'm working with you and then they find out one of your people did something bad, now that's going to reflect on me and my company. And then it's going to start all over again. And that's what I'm saying. Right now, gaming is in the spotlight, and it's bright. The brightest it has ever been since video games were introduced. I mean, yeah, before it was just parents like, oh, video game violence, but that was minor. Now video game is literally considered one of the top sources of entertainment, media. It's officially a sport. It covers all of those genres. That spotlight is bright, and people were bored. And you bring up any kind of inappropriate sexual behavior, oh, it's a wrap. So that's why I said that's what's going to cause ripples. And it already has happened, because you started with Blizzard-Activision getting in the spotlight. Nobody was safe. And I said that, and that proved the point. Nobody is safe. Sony's not safe. Microsoft isn't safe. It's just a matter of time.
Well, considering what Sony and Microsoft have recently said about, considering their relationship with Activision Blizzard, I'm quoting that from a piece I read by the Verge.
Yeah, except now they're sitting on the bench with them.
I'm like, what does that mean for them? Does that mean that we could actually look at a juggernaut company get hit so hard and lose so much from, other companies and developers that they might dwindle down to nothing?
They wouldn't, I would say dwindle, yes, to nothing, no. If things get really out of hand for Sony, you would probably see the American branches be broken down into smaller branches, because Sony's main base isn't in America.
Well, you got to think what this means for esports as well.
Yeah. I mean, esports is already in its spotlight for its own stuff. Drug abuse with things like Adderall and stuff. It is. And it's to an extent, it's not fair, because all physical sports, so many competitions across the world,
break rules, do drugs, do things that are not okay, that are illegal. People do, insane things. But it's kind of like you said, gaming is in the spotlight right now because it's grown so much over the past couple of years. It's in everyone's face. So it's going to be looked at just with a little bit more scrutiny.
Yep. Unless a new media is born and takes the world by storm, video game can do no wrong. We as gamers, we are on eggshells right now. Developers are on eggshells. The whole gaming industry is on eggshells. And the thing that I was worried about, I said, this gives fuel for people who've always opposed video games. This gives them ammo. And we're just going to repeat history. Yep.
I told you so.
And it's just, and then it's kind of like, and those stigmas stick. It just takes one person to spark it and the stigmas stick. Like, how long did it take before people started saying, oh, I'm a gamer? And they say, oh, you play Fortnite. Those words never left my mouth. But that's the stigma. So how long before, you're talking to someone, it's like, oh, what do you like to do for hobby? You say, oh, well, I like to play video games. And it's like, video games, isn't that the stuff that makes you a sexual deviant?
Did you watch that video I shared of the Halo 2 release when it first came out in 2004?
Yeah.
And I forgot how intense the stigma really was about video games back then until that reporter was like, thousands of men across the nation and probably like 3 women are crawling out of their basement to buy another game. And I'm just like I was like, what? Like you would never hear someone say some, stuff like that today. Yeah. But it reminded me of the stigma back then about playing video games. And it reminded me of why so many of us didn't talk about it that much or only shared it with a small group of people. And anime was definitely like that too. So it's insane to see like how far we've come.
Mm-hmm. And I think this is me, once again, my personal opinion, not fact. This is just me thinking outside of the box here. I feel that the over-sexualization of modern gaming, because it's become its own worst enemy, but by no means of its own. And what I mean by that is back in the day, it was the female characters in games were scantily clad. Everybody knew this. There was no stranger to it. It was like a gripe. And then, now, they've changed it. And it seems like the harsher they've gotten on games, inanimate objects, basically, fantasy worlds, they have put so much strictness on it that I'm like, so are we not going to say anything about all the cosplayers that we praise who literally over sexualize the characters that male developers got chastised about over sexualizing years ago? I feel like we've taken what was only on a screen in fantasy, we took it out of the game, made it real, and now that's just added fuel to the fire, because a lot of these, I feel what's happened is a lot of these guys, these older guys, especially the ones who now feel they've got money and power, who might have like not acted on things back then because they kept it in their fantasy world, are thinking, well, this is our world now, because look, so-and-so's running around in naked cosplay. This is my creation. This is, they're losing it. Like I said, this is just me, thinking outside the box. But think about it. These guys, they're seeing their fantasy that made them rich become a reality. And they're thinking the world is their playground.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of other Epstein type characters out there. Unfortunately, there's no escape from that. But it is like interesting how sexuality is in our country versus a lot of other countries. I'd say our country and then parts of Europe are perceived, because a lot of this stuff isn't really looked at looked at the same way or made as big of a deal. But have we just taken it too far? Have we utilized sexualization in our culture in the wrong way and abused it and kind of caused our own problems? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just wild how we've twisted so many things in gaming and anime and comics, just everything, and turned it into like so much controversy and turned it into so many problems.
Because we sexualize everything.
Well, so do a lot of other countries, but
the extent that's like necessary.
Right. Like we I just saw random, but I saw a TikTok about, I see them on my For You page every now and then, about how like Asian languages, people are using like the Oni-chan and ara and like all those, words, and they're saying it sexually when it's literally like brother, or they're
changing the
the tone and context of what the word really means.
Context is wrong.
It's the words that they use on a daily in a non-sexual way. Like, we're making it sexual.
Good example, a common word. If I say explicit to you right now, what was the first thing that came to your head?
We can't say it on the show.
There you go. That proves my point. That proves my point. And explicit, that's not what the word means, but that's how we've used it. Mm-hmm. We've warped it to match that. So when someone comes to you and says, yeah, that article was pretty explicit, it just meant it went into great detail. Yeah, great.
Nope.
But that's not what came to your head. No. And that's proving the point. That's literally proving the point. I also feel this is me personally. I feel we have crafted been crafted to look at, I guess you could say, sexual things as like taboo, even though we praise things like OnlyFans. We're super backwards. It's like, don't do this unless you're going to pay for it.
Yep.
Because if I go to someone and says sex sells, nobody bats an eye. But if you use that in the literal sense, then all of a sudden everyone has an issue with it. But if money is involved, it's a completely different story.
Always.
It's a completely different story. We've crafted sex to only be acceptable when there's money to be made. If there's not money to be made, then there will be hell to pay.
No. Only if you're recording it and selling it for money on someone else's behalf. It's Fair still enough. Illegal. It's still illegal behind closed doors, apparently.
And I feel that this comes from so many years of us, and I mean men and women, how we've chastised each other, that we've crafted ourselves to be this way. Because think about when, Warners, when we're kids and you talk to the hot girl and you happen to mention anime and video games, the reaction you would get, it was like you were
I just knew better. I just knew better.
They looked at you like you were the grossest thing walking the face of the earth, and like that stuff stays with you.
You know what just crossed my mind is what, sex sells in a business from a business perspective, marketing perspective. But it's almost like it's only illegal if I don't get to pay to watch it on the internet.
Yeah.
Which is completely disgusting.
Yeah.
Like that thought process, like just kind of breaking it down like that. Like,
yeah.
Like, what the hell?
That's the loophole.
Our culture. Yeah. Our culture is like really bizarre like that.
Yeah. They know there's money to be made. They know if they remove it, that's millions of dollars just gone. So they've warped it. It's been warped.
I said it. I think I said it on our last podcast, man, of all the horrible things that we've had to go through over the past few years, all the crimes against, humans, people, races. man, when
OnlyFans,
when the government went after the porn industry, boy, there was so much public outcry. And then OnlyFans, oh my God, the loudest voice there.
All they were saying at the end, OnlyFans was like, "Yo, chill. We were just getting rid of like the really, really raunchy stuff but not really. We're not really like shutting down, like, calm down."
It's like they were like telling their buddy, like, "Dude, chill out, man. Like
chill, man. You're bringing more attention than we need."
Yeah, you're kind of fucking this up, man.
I'm just telling them what they want to hear. God.
Yeah, like chill, bro. Like,
have a drink, man. Chill out.
Like, way to let the world know you're horny.
No.
And you know, I just hope, you know, getting back to the Sony thing, I just hope that whatever's going on right now can get resolved. And I mean that like across the board, because we're gonna start seeing some video games take some nosedives, and like it's not going to be pretty, because nobody's going to be comfortable working. Everyone's going to be looking over their shoulder. Like, they're going to be looking, and it's going to be like, man, Sony's got sexual predators. And then you're going to be looking at your coat. Are you a sexual predator? And if you like, I say it with like light humor, but that's exactly what's going to happen.
You know what? The whole
oops, sorry, go ahead.
The whole thing, like our culture right now, like how quick people are to be canceled or shut down. And I'm not picking sides or for or against anything. I'm just, you know, spitting the facts here. Like you make a mistake or say the one wrong thing, it could ruin your career, it could ruin your life. And there's been times at work, like someone might say something that they'll involve my name, and I know they mean it but it's like the way they might say it or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are getting at, but I'm not part of this.
Yep.
Like anything that I could even be perceived to potentially be taken out of context, I make it very clear that I am not part of this, and I'm going to go over there and do my job, because like looking over my shoulder, like that, exactly what he's talking about. Like, I don't want to be part of anything being taken out of context just because someone used my name or said something that was around me. And then I'm also a guy in healthcare. So yeah,
you really got to be careful.
I'm quiet at work. I'm helpful, and I watch what I say, and I try not to make too many jokes. My jokes are like dad jokes. That's it. I don't even talk about gaming.
I see that from you. Like that's just and read your aura.
The amount of material I have to work with is very small.
Just go to work and don't even crack the joke. Just laugh at the joke in your head and just go, ha.
No, that's most of my day is laughing at stupid ass jokes in my head.
Yeah, just walk around and just look, ha.
I have no one to talk to at work. You don't understand. I have no one at work to talk to that has anything in common with me.
Dude, so, you're probably in the safest situation.
I am. I am, but it's just a little boring sometimes.
Yeah, I could understand how it could like
I'll take
socially
boring over keep my career and not have my life ruined.
That's the choices we're left with.
But you're right. Yeah. Like looking over your shoulder, man.
And what I was gonna say was kind of going off of what you said about, you know, looking at your coworker and be like, oh, are you a sexual predator? Because in my eyes, it kind of is opening up other people's eyes to like what it's like to be a woman. Because like I can't imagine. You have to do that all the time as a woman. Be like, all right, am I going to get sexually harassed by you today or not?
Like looking on the calendar, like, okay, it's
what day of the week is it?
What day of the week is it? Oh, yeah.
I'm due for another one. I'm due for another harassment. It's fine.
He always looks at me funny on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Gaming right now is an all-time high. It's going to I feel it's got.
I don't think it's going to plateau anytime soon.
If this keeps going, I think it would plateau. And I'm not saying just on this. I'm also talking, we're still heading into that graphics card crisis on top of these issues. So you got two things right now that are very critical things that are poking at gaming. Like, gaming is at its best right now, the best it's ever been. And that's how it's supposed to go. Each year it gets better and better and better and better. But these are two glaring things that in the history of gaming, when have there been those two things like that at the same time poking at the industry? For like 5 to 10 years, it was one thing. It makes your kids violent. And then we proved it wrong. But now it's like, now I'm saying it's going to be like, it turns them into a sexual predator. Ooh.
But it's always going to be something.
Oh, yeah, there will always be something.
Going to be something that everyone's going to try and put on us.
Unfortunately, for what, the last 4 or 5 years, the one thing, and probably for a very, very long time, the one thing you don't want to be on the radar for, we are more accepting of violence than any sexual issues of harassment, verbal or physical. But somebody got shot. Damn, that sucks.
You know what is kind of bizarre though? Despite everything happening with Activision Blizzard, their stocks are strong as ever. There were really no significant dips in their stocks over the past several months.
That's their core gaming community. That's their WoW players.
You think so?
And the
WoW is carrying them right now?
That's
WoW
them.
And Warzone are carrying them.
Yeah, that's them. And I'm going to tell you what it is. That's the gamers who don't know what's going on because they don't care. Their servers are running. Their game is playing. They're good. And then the other half is like, okay, that's that person, that group. That's not Blizzard. Okay. That's the game has nothing to do with it. And the push, and they're defiantly pushing back against all the people who are like, you still that play. Damn right I do. Because guess what? The game ain't them.
Yeah. The people, I sounds kind of messed up, but it's kind of true. The people who matter most as far as who owns the largest of the stocks and the most stocks in Activision Blizzard are mostly the people who have a much better understanding of separating business from personal issues.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. But their stocks were, I think they've been about $58 for the past year.
Yep.
And I think they dropped to like $57 when they were really in the spotlight back a couple months ago.
Crypto wasn't doing that great.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a little surprised to just with that, seeing that they weren't really hit that hard.
Yeah, and I think people were hoping. Like a lot of people expect instant failure, and then when it doesn't happen, one of two things happen: they get bored and they move on, or they try again and they either succeed or fail. In this case, I think they're just trying again. Will Blizzard Activision weather it? Yeah, their fan base is way too strong. They have too much history. The support, them going bye-bye would shake the gaming industry and ruin everything. It would ruin pillars, for one, of money that a lot of people would not want to lose. So they would probably come to Blizzard Activision as an entity to its rescue before letting them go under. So, yeah. Will the company survive? I think so. Will familiar faces still be there? Probably in like 4 or 5 years? No. It'll probably be a whole new Activision Blizzard. A lot of people leave and new faces will be brought in until they feel like they found the perfect balance. And we're going to start seeing that with Sony across the American headquarters.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, due to the AWS servers being all wild, we are not going to make this episode as long as we normally do because we don't know when it's going to cut off on us. So yeah, leave it on a cliffhanger on that one. But would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Let us know on Patreon. And if you guys enjoyed the episode, join us over at Patreon. Become part of the GZ faction, patreon.com/scamagames. Unlock some amazing perks, get the episodes early, get to interact with us so we can get your feedback. And yeah, would love to hear what you guys think. Is the future of gaming at risk? Will we weather the storm and push through? And this will all just be a bad memory? Let us know. And once again, don't forget, December 23rd is our Wounded Warrior Project charity live stream. So looking forward to seeing you guys there to help us crush our $1,000 goal. Also, any merchandise bought in our shop, we are donating $1 from every sale to the Wounded Warrior Project as well during that live stream. So a lot of things planned, a lot of things coming down the pipeline. One more episode before we wrap up 2021 and head into 2022. But I want to say you guys have been amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Seeing that our numbers have been going up, that's been amazing. I showed you guys the Spotify wrap. That caught me completely off guard. I was like blown away by that. So thank you, everybody who's been supporting the show, following us, listening, tuning in from 6 different countries. You guys are amazing. Stay safe out there. Look out for yourself and look out for each other. And we will catch all you amazing people